Hello, it's Charles Fockaert, January 25th, 2018. I welcome all of you as usual. I thank you for watching, subscribing, sharing these videos, and supporting this channel. It's going to be really nice when I can put all this, these videos, and when I do a video like this, it takes a lot of hard drive space up, and then when I convert it, it reduces it down, but I don't want to really get rid of the old ones yet. And when I get that 4 terabyte hard drive coming, it's on the way, I'll be able to put everything on there. So I want to thank you for supporting this channel. We're a team, folks. That's the way I looked at it. I've always been a team player, and I got the coach's trophy in track in my senior year to prove it, folks. We're a team, and nobody's more important than anybody else on the team. I'm sorry. I'm really thankful that I know plumbers who can do plumbing, and the guy that makes the cabinets in my houses I used to build, the guys that come and put the roof on. We're all important, buddy. We're all just as important as everybody else, and I really want to make sure you know that. I really appreciate. And I got over 2,000 subs. Yeah, compared to some other people, that's not very much. But the difference is that I'm saying things that people don't want to hear. They don't mind you telling them the news, and they get to be up to speed on this topic and that topic, and they got something to talk about. But when you start talking about the Word of God, the Word of Yahweh, and their responsibility to the Creator of the heaven and the earth, they're gone, because they want to keep their Talmud vision. They want to continue to gamble. They want to continue to watch their Jew movies. They don't want to be told what to do. Now, Judeo-Christians, they don't mind going to, quote, church, because their pastor's not going to tell them anything. Their pastor's not going to tell them to get rid of their television. Trust me on that one. And I was involved in a Christian assembly, and we had about 25 individuals and families, and maybe more than that. I can't remember exactly, but 25 or 30. And boy, we did a lot of good things in that community. We started a private Christian school. We homeschooled, and then we started a school. We did a lot of things with just a small group of people. Doesn't take many, folks. And out of this 2,000 subscribers, I bet 1%, 20 people, just 20 people are a good core. So I'm basically talking to those 20 people, that 1%, and I'm never going to get, I hope I do. I hope we get a lot of people. I hope we wake up quite a few, and they're willing to go all the way with Yahweh. But hey, I mean, look at history. Probably not going to happen, but it doesn't have to. Read the story. Read Gideon. And what did the Lord say? He started out with 25,000, I believe, and he got it down. And he says, the Lord says, you got too many, Gideon. Way too many. And it was the warriors, the ones that went down, and they took and you know, I've always been this way. I'm not one of those guys that jumps in the water and laps it up. You get down there and you put the water in your mouth, and you take a drink, and you're looking around, you're being aware of your surroundings. That's the kind of guy, that's the kind of woman Yahweh's looking for. And I believe we got about 20 of you here on this channel, and I just want to say welcome, and I'm going to do my best to make sense out of what's going on in the world around us. Today, in this video, I want to talk about Monika Schaefer and Chrystia Freeland. So let me go show you who she is, and then I'll be right back with some more info. Let's go have a look at her, shall we? But before we do that, I just remembered, I'm doing this off the cuff, folks. I don't have this all scripted out and everything like someone else I know that I'm supposed to copy and learn from. And as I've said, my habit is most mornings I read out of Proverbs, and today's the 25th, so I was reading in Proverbs this morning. This is chapter 25. It's the 25th of January, and I read this second verse. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. And I looked at this word here, search, and it's to penetrate, to examine intimately. And and this is where I lose a lot of people. They get to this point and they go, oh, God, the guy's a Bible thumper. I don't want anything to do with the Bible. That's a Jew book and all that crap. But, hey, for those of you with ears to hear and eyes to see, when I spend time like this in the morning and I'm contemplating and I'm meditating and I'm thinking about stuff, the Spirit will guide you into all the truth. And I got to thinking about Chrystia Freeland. So I went and did a search on her, but like I said, let's go have a look at who she is so you can get an idea of who she is and who we're speaking about. So this time I'm going to show you. Hang in there.
What movie?
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark,
in the
right.
movie.
Oh, I thought you meant Dumb and Dumber. I thought you meant that one.
I'm the only non-American here, but I'm going to defend Americans.
Are Canadians smarter?
Canadians are very smart, especially the people who live in my district. Those are the smartest Canadians. Toronto Centre, I love you.
Wow, that's a suck up right there. I
You
got
gotta
you.
do
Yes,
it.
way to
You gotta
go.
do it.
You're getting
But
reelected.
I'm defending Americans here.
How do you
because-
pronounce about?
No, about.
So you're
about.
wrong. You know
no,
everything.
But the fact that Americans have checked out of politics, or that Americans find the healthcare reforms to be really confusing, I don't think you can blame regular American people for that. I think you have to blame the media and politicians for
Can you
that.
blame them for not knowing the three branches of government, for checking out on that one? Because that one happened a lot before healthcare came down the pike.
But we're talking about healthcare, and
Chrystia,
we're talking about the
They're stupid.
Gruber was right. Gruber
was right. He
Gruber
just said what people don't want to hear.
He said,
Did you see that, folks? Did you hear what Chrystia Freeland said? That the people in her district were smartest people in Canada, and she just handed us material on a paper plate, folks. And we're going to be able to tell her that I'm going to be able to tell her that I'm smart enough to realize that the Obamacare thing was a bunch of bunk. And I'm not one of those people that don't know what the three branches of government are. And that's why I know that the Holocaust is a hoax. We got them, folks, right out of the horse's mouth. And we can really give them a hard time, folks. Isn't this exciting, huh? Isn't this exciting? Okay, I went online and I looked up Chrystia Freeland. I think that's how let me look. Chrystia Freeland. I looked her up on Wikipedia because you shills and you trolls. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying, because I always get some stupido coming on here and saying that I think Wikipedia is a credible source. Get this through your little pea brain. Wikipedia, as far as I'm concerned, is not a credible source for the most important events and historical individuals, etc. They pull a 1984 on you. The Ministry of Truth, they pull out, or they ignore, or they lie by omission. Now, you got that? I don't want to see any comments from you stupidos down below that I'm calling Wikipedia a credible source. But I go to Wikipedia because you people that haven't taken the red pill yet, you think this is a credible source, okay? So I'm going to your credible source, not mine. I found out that Chrystia Freeland is pretty educated, brainwashed individual. She's been to university in Italy. She's been to university at Harvard. She speaks, I think, 4 languages: Italian, French, German, and English, of course. She's the member of parliament in her hometown. I think it's Toronto. She's also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so she's the individual that my email went to in her office there at the parliamentary, and they said that's the wrong email, and I'll show you the email here in a minute. So I examined closely Chrystia Freeland, and that's the honor of kings, folks. I'm just showing you, I'm just doing. You know, there's a lot of Christians out there and leaders too. They like to talk. They like to talk, and they want to become the authority, but they don't do. They don't do anything. Alrighty. Well, folks, we don't want to be that kind of a faith without works Christian, do we? We have a chance here to actually make history. Monika Schaefer is doing the hard work, and we can help her. We can be a part of history, and we can support her, and we can actually do something instead of just complaining and moaning and bitching about how these Esau Edomites have controlled everything. And we have an individual now that we can, she's got an X on her back, folks, and we have her email addresses, and I'm going to show you the address there, and at the Hill, they call it there, in Ottawa, the capital of Canada, and we can actually do something, and that's what I'm encouraging all of you. You 20, the other 2,000, they're going to go on and they're going to watch their football game this weekend. The Super Bowl, I guess, is on, which is a fixed game, folks. I don't know why you even waste your time. It's fixed, but I digress. So let's get back to this. She's a Rhodes Scholar. Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. Another topic, another subject. But those of you with eyes to see and ears to hear will know what that means. And this is what I found very, very interesting. Her, Chrystia Freeland's maternal grandfather, and I'm quoting out of a credible source for you shills, his name was, it's Ukrainian, Mikhailo Komiak, was the editor-in-chief of a Ukrainian-language pro-Nazi newspaper called bear with me here, Krakivsky Vista. I hope that's right. I don't know Ukrainian. Launched in Krakow in occupied Poland during World War II with exposure orchestrated by Joseph Goebbels himself. Michael Komiak has been characterized by the Canadian press as a, quote, Nazi collaborator, although he may have been unwilling to take the top position. Chrystia Freeland, and others have claimed that the circulation of news in 2017 regarding her grandfather's connection to Nazism was the result of Russian disinformation campaign. Nevertheless, these facts have been confirmed by the University of Alberta historian and Chomiak's son-in-law, Professor John Paul Himka. Talk about that she went to the United World College of the Adriatic in Italy, received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Russian history. See, that's important, folks. And Russian history and literature from Harvard University, and a Master's of Studies degree in Slavonic Studies from St. Anthony's College, Oxford, as a Rhodes Scholar in 1983. Now, the beauty of this is that she allegedly knows Russian history and literature. So the Bolshevik involvement in the revolution in 1917, she should know about that. But let's back up a little bit more. Her grandfather was pro-Nazi, pro-Germany during World War II. Now, that's something that we can use to our advantage. Okay, folks? She wants to say that's all bunk. That was all a Russian, the result of a Russian disinformation campaign. And we all know that's not true, don't we? Okay. Now, the point is, we can use this as leverage with her. Now, I want to tell you that I wrote letters to the editor in the 1970s and 1980s, mostly 1980s, in California there, Humboldt County. And if you know how to write cogent, brief letters, you will get them printed for the most part in the local newspaper. Now, a lot of people can't write well. They can write, but they use too many words. So what I could do to help you, I'm talking about the 1% here, you 20 or 25 people, if we did this as a team, we could be sending letters to not only Monika Schaefer to give her our support, make it brief, doesn't have to say much. I'll show you mine. I have it here. I've got my letter. I was going to mail it yesterday, but I didn't go down to town. But here it is. Political prisoner imprisoned by the German Thought Police, Monika Schaefer, and then the address there of the Gulag that she's in Germany. So, and then I have just a one-page letter, and I won't go into all the detail, but I say this. They can imprison you for what you think, for what you believe, but they can't force you to change what you believe or change what you think. Therefore, despite what they do, you will always remain free. And I don't think that the Germans, her own people, putting her in prison in the Iron Bar Hotel there in Germany for what she believes is just outrageous, folks. And we need to keep hammering that home, that what they're doing by imprisoning a lady just because she doesn't believe the official story of the Holocaust, putting her in prison for what she believes, is an outrageous injustice. And I know what injustice is. And that's why I keep repeating over and over again about that Jew judge, Alan Jaroslavsky, because the injustice, what they do to you, and the injustice of what they're doing doesn't go away. It stays with you forever, because once you've been treated unjustly, it has an effect on you. Now, I wasn't sent to prison, but they were trying to get me to do something against the law, and they wanted to put me in prison, and that's one of the reasons I left the United States for almost 13 years, folks. And I don't want to get too far off of that, but we have a chance here to be a part of history, and I am so glad that I actually did something. When Ernest Zundel was in prison there in Mannheim, I sent him a copy of my book. I won't go into it. I've already gone into it a couple times. And he responded. He told me that it was a pretty much a miracle that my book got through, and he sent me these two bookmarkers, and I have the letters that him and I corresponded back and forth. So you have an opportunity now to do the same sort of thing. You can contact Monika Schaefer, and probably more importantly, you can contact Chrystia Freeland now, and now you have some information that you can use, that we can use as leverage. For instance, you might say something like this. This is all you've got to say. Dear Honorable Chrystia Freeland, could it be that your maternal grandfather was correct in his position as being pro-national socialist? Sincerely, and put your name on there. Gets her thinking, folks. She's not a stupid person. She's very well educated, fairly intelligent, and they got her in this position for a reason. I can't think of anything else to say. Oh, yes, I do. You know what? Here's something else you might want to do, and I'll get into this in another video. We contact the tourist, the board, or whoever's in charge there in Germany of tourism. And this made me think about once back in the early 90s, I sent my daughter and the ex to Germany and Switzerland one winter. They landed in Frankfurt, and it was something to do with the school, high school trip. And I the jerk that I am, I was making enough income to be able to send my daughter and my ex-wife to Germany and Switzerland in the winter off season. But we can get a hold of the German Tourism Board, and we can say something like, ask them a question like, I'm thinking about taking a trip to Europe, and we were going to land in Frankfurt, but I was wondering if you will arrest me if I land there in a stopover in Frankfurt, Germany. Will you arrest me because I don't believe the official story of the Holocaust? Or, I'm thinking about making a trip, and I would like to do this, but not anymore because of all the invasion of the Muslims into France and Germany. I would like to land somewhere in maybe London and take the train all the way down through Europe and go to Italy and visit Brussels and where my Flanders area, where my grandparents on my father's side were, and then go down to Italy, and I want to visit. But what you could say something like, if I come through Germany and I don't believe in the Holocaust, I'm afraid to go through Germany because I'm afraid you're going to arrest me, so I'm going to do my best to go around Germany. Okay, you get the idea there, folks? We could have a lot of fun with this. At the same time, we're helping Monika, and we're drawing attention to the injustice of being imprisoned for what you believe. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing these videos. And thank you for being one of the 1%, the 20 or so people that we can work together as a team and make history along with Monika. And may the grace of God, the non-Jew God, you know what? Yeshua doesn't believe in the Holocaust, and he wasn't a Jew. That's another big lie out there they want you to believe. And may his grace be upon us all, his Anglo-Saxon, Germanic, Celtic, and those of you in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Welsh, the French, the Belgium, the Europeans. May his grace be upon us all. Even if you don't believe in the God of Scripture, the non-Jew God who made a covenant with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, may his grace be upon us all. And this is where I lose a lot of people. They don't want to hear this crap. They think everybody can be saved. The God is a God. We were talking this morning with my buddy Ryan. There's only one race, the human race. Anyway, that's not true, folks. That's not true, and that should be obvious. And if you don't get that, you got a brain like a pea.
In America, you have a right to be stupid if you want to be.
But I do want to thank you, and we do need the grace of God to be with us. See you.